US struck deal with Russia on Ukraine invasion resolution behind allies backs Le Monde. June 22, 2025. The administration of US President Donald Trump, behind the backs of its allies, discussed with the Kremlin a draft resolution at the UN on the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. But the decisive actions of Ukraine's partners have thwarted Washington's attempt to pass the necessary document for the US, Le Monde reports. The French agency sources say that Ukraine prepared a resolution to mark the third anniversary of Russia's invasion, condemning Russia's aggression and demanding the complete withdrawal of Russian troops. However, on February 21, U.S. charged affairs to the UN Dorothy Shea told representatives for France and the United Kingdom that Ukraine should withdraw its draft resolution. The United States intended to introduce its draft and expected Europe to support the American document. As it turned out, the Trump administration discussed this document with representatives of Russia, the aggressor country, behind the backs of European countries and Ukraine. Ukrainian resolution was adopted unchanged. Europe reacted at an emergency meeting of European diplomats. The US actions were regarded as a betrayal. They decided not to change the Ukrainian text, as the Europeans had previously insisted, and not to withdraw the draft resolution submitted by Ukraine in any case. France and the United Kingdom, as permanent members of the UN Security Council, took on the task of fighting the United States. London had to rebuff in Washington in the Security Council, while Paris took over to the UN General Assembly. As a result, the White House was outplayed. France successfully amended the American draft by adding the requirement to respect territorial integrity. After that, the United States refrained from supporting its own text. At the same time, the Ukrainian resolution was adopted unchanged and by a majority vote on February 24. The resistance of the United States and Russia was ignored. Kremlin and White House unity. In February, the United States voted against Ukraine's resolution condemning Russian aggression. Washington voted unanimously with Russia and Belarus, while even some Kremlin sympathizers decided to abstain. The next incident occurred on April 16 when the UN General Assembly supported a resolution mentioning Russian aggression against Ukraine. The United States also voted against the resolution. This put the United States in line with such countries as Russia, Belarus, Niger, Nicaragua. By RBC Ukraine. Story by Liliana Oleniak, June 22, 2025.